And thus, it is finally time to bid everyone watching welcome to Australia and round 2 of the GT3 World Series. We start the international part of this championship with 2 Mercedes on the front row. On your left at this moment will be the number 40 and at the right the number 2. Of the start, it is clear to see that the number 2 gets the slightly better start, but number 40 is on the inside for the first corner and there's not much to do there. Also notice the 26 Nissan, starting from second row on the grid, has gotten past the number 3 McLaren, and here's how they did it. From number 1 alley. The Nissan's monstrous torque pretty much gets the job done right from them when they set off. Off the first corner though, the Nissan is slightly slow, which then hinders the McLaren, which leaves the McLaren slow, which slows the speed of Audi, and out of nowhere comes one of the Aston Martins and takes 4th place. Overtaking done simply. And the Aston Martin will keep that 4th place when there was no really big challenge there. I'm trying to get a little closer to the Mercedes up front, but the Mercedes have so much huge speed, whereas the Nissan doesn't. The Nissan strong side is more in acceleration and in the grip, but the Mercedes is just too fast in a straight line for anything to deal with them. But coming towards the end of the first lap, it would be the number 40 leading from pole, ahead of the number 2. As a little further back, we have the American battle, Viper versus Corvette. Viper eventually seals the deal, the 87 fighting the 50. Again, all thanks to the inside line strategies. Towards the back would be all of the Ford GTs, hampered by recent DOP adjustments, had a few horsepower taken away from them, and pretty much all of them had a little extra weight added after the last round. Also in the back of the field, the 2 StarTech cars, led by the number 4, who is currently side by side with the 60 as they enter lap 3. And again, the advantages of the inside line. As you can see, with the exception of the number 4, we have all of the Ford GTs in a line, right at the back of the field. And then we have slow motion footage of the number 50 getting its drift on. Definitely in the nomination for top 10 darks and drifts of the week. See the 76 Viper having a look, but it's not quite close enough, and you have to be really ballsy to overtake at the top of the mountain. On the other end, the number 10 Aston Martin is really ballsy as it goes up the inside of the 95 Ferrari. Just 4 laps in, and this is how desperate they are already. And it is side by side as they come down the straight towards the chase. I'm trying to go 3 wide, and that's not going to work. The Ferrari gets a little bump from the Lamborghini and gets another little drift on as it comes back onto the track. The big winner of all this is the Aston Martin, which has just, in a sense, gotten away from all of this, and there is now a huge train of cars following the 95, sorry. This looks familiar, and I'm pretty sure this shot is going to be used in future interviews. Yes, that is decent car control. In another episode of Car Control, here's the number 1 Audi, getting a bit of a slide under the first corner, and then gets collected by the McLaren. Huge damage to the rear of the Audi. Somehow it is still drivable, when logic would determine that car to be completely immobilized by an accident of that force. And then we have a sign of things to come, you might say. The number 30 Lamborghini, they're just smacked the wall up near Solomon Park, number 54. No big damage done. But now as we jumped 2 laps later, following the 32 car, same position, and there is a stricken number 50. That is the number 50 Corvette. That has been a huge smash. Let's have a look at what the replay cameras caught. The number 30 loses it again. Tightens it up. The 50 loses it as well, and has just nowhere to go. Is carrying too much speed to stop in time to not hit 30. And that unfortunately has rendered the 50 incapable of completing the race. We see a Viper as well in the background. Obviously this corner not really a good friend to cars. But then again, it is Mount Panorama Circuit. It's never friendly to cars. The battle of the Corvettes again. Quite high up the field, but definitely in a good point scoring position. The 2 Corvettes that remained in 5 and the 63, with the 63 having found a clever way to do cooling. Yeah, a battle for position, of course, EV cars, so it's all going to be about the driver. Now this is the view from the 31 car. This is almost a replay from what happened earlier, but the roles reversed. This time it's a Corvette almost getting smashed up by a Lamborghini. Come the latter half of the race, the battle up front was still close until it got interrupted by drivers from the back of the field leaving the pit lane. As much as the organizers would like to, there is not really any blue flag enforcement happening, which means the Ford has no incentive not to slow the number 2 and not to let the Viper do the same thing, just go past it, slow them down. And this is the point where the strategists in the Mercedes team should say, okay, we cannot go more than this line without pitting, we have to go to pits now, and they do, following the number 40 and ahead of one of the Aston Martins. And in Nissan as well. This was the lap where everyone who had not previously pitted would pit in, as the cars would go on to lap 19, just over halfway through the race. The big loser of this pit stop window would be the Aston Martin, which would lose a lot of time because there was just a steady stream of cars coming past its pit box, and of course you'd get an unsafe release if you didn't let them go past. The shenanigans, however, was far from finished, as demonstrated here on lap 25, where we are rejoined by the number 30 and a whole slew of cars behind it. First it gets a little push from the BMW, it's been sent onto its grass. When it comes back on the track, it has a huge smash with the number 60, and that renders the number 60 incapable of running, somehow for reasons of mid-engine. I'm not sure quite how that works. Then gets a little bit of a tap from the 6, which seems to have been involved in the crash earlier. Gets car running somehow. I'm not quite sure how that works, because it is mid-engine and it should have done something like, it's something like this a little earlier. It doesn't, and now it's going to collect a Viper because it parked in the middle of the road. So that is, unfortunately, for Michelin Racing, the number 30 out. Completely out. But when the race was about to run out, there was really no doubt that the winner was going to be the number 40 Mercedes. They had run a trouble-free race and stayed out of, well, trouble, and led from start to finish. A magnificent job by the Ferdinand United team. And they can look forward to 30 points being deposited into their championship account. Coming in second would be the number 2 Mercedes, 28 points, still very respectable, and also making it to the podium would be the Nissan. So this is what it would look like on the championship standings. After round 2, the ARC McLaren would take over the championship lead after a 3rd place and a 4th place finish. 50 points in total. good points haul. Closest opponent is 10 points down. So there is definitely a pattern shaping up here. The McLaren does seem to be a consistent finisher, and now it's up to the rest of the teams to catch it.